Hello, everyone, and thanks for taking the time to join me. We really need to have an honest chat about the vaping crisis that's affecting so many of our children in school today. The whole point of this is to give you a clear picture of what we're up against, and more importantly, the tools you need to face this challenge with your kids. I think this quote from a head teacher really gets to the heart of the matter. For a lot of students, this isn't about being rebellious. It's about trying to cope. Vaping gives them a quick, easy hit of dopamine, that's the brain's feel-good chemical, and for a few moments, it feels like an escape from all the stress and anxiety they're dealing with. They're essentially using it to self-medicate. But here's the problem. The products they're using to get that escape have changed so dramatically that we're now facing a far, far more serious problem than we've ever seen before.
Experts in public health have a name for what's happening. They're calling it hardening. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that while we might not be seeing a huge increase in the number of kids starting to vape, the ones who are vaping are getting hooked much more severely. We're seeing a much deeper level of addiction, which makes it incredibly hard for them to stop.
And you can really see this in the numbers. They're pretty stark. Since just 2020, the rate of young people vaping every single day has almost doubled. But look at this next one. The number of them who try to quit and fail has shot up from around 28% to over 50%, more than half. And this is all happening while the nicotine in these vapes has just gotten stronger and stronger. So, this is absolutely crucial to understand. The products themselves are a massive part of the problem. Today's disposable vapes hold 5 times more liquid, they're 3 times stronger, and somehow they're about 70% cheaper than they were just a few years back. They are, and I'm not exaggerating here, literally engineered to create addiction. And this supercharged nicotine is especially dangerous because, as you know, the teenage brain is still a work in progress. It's uniquely vulnerable to the damage a powerful drug like this can do. A person's brain isn't fully developed until they're about 25. So when a teenager is vaping, the nicotine is causing real harm to the parts of their brain that manage attention, learning, mood, and self-control. It can literally rewire their brain, making them more likely to get addicted to other things down the road, and ironically, making their anxiety and depression even worse. And let's be absolutely clear about what they are breathing in. This is not, and I repeat, not harmless water vapor. The aerosol from a vape is a toxic cocktail. It can contain heavy metals like lead and arsenic, and even formaldehyde, which we know causes cancer. All of that stuff is inflaming and damaging their lung tissue. Now, so many students genuinely believe vaping helps them feel calm, but it's actually a cruel trick the brain is playing on them. See, nicotine is a stimulant. That feeling of relief they get is actually just them satisfying their withdrawal symptoms, which, by the way, feel almost exactly like anxiety. This creates a vicious cycle. The addiction causes anxiety, and the brain screams for more nicotine to fix it. It's a trap that just makes everything worse over time. Okay, so we know how dangerous these things are. But that leads us to one of the biggest challenges for us as parents and educators. How on earth do you spot them in the first place? And I really want you to ask yourself this, honestly, because the companies that make these things have become masters of deception. They design them specifically so that an adult wouldn't look twice at them. So if you're picturing one of those big, clunky, technical-looking vapes, I'm afraid that image is completely out of date. The devices that are popular today are sleek, they're brightly colored, and they're made to look like anything but a tobacco product, more like a fancy USB stick, a new highlighter, or a makeup item. And here are just a handful of the disguises we're now finding in school every single day. We're seeing vapes that are also fully functioning pens and highlighters. They're built into phone cases and even into the drawstrings of hoodies. They're made to look like asthma inhalers, lip gloss. They are designed to be hidden in plain sight. And just when you think it can't get any more insidious, it does. Some of the newer so-called smart vapes actually have screens on them where kids can play games like Tetris. This is a tactic called gamification, and its purpose is to make the device feel like a harmless toy, rather than what it actually is, which is a highly effective drug delivery system. So if the devices themselves are so well hidden, what can you as a parent look for? What are the telltale signs that your child might be vaping?
Really, it's about noticing the subtle shifts. Do you ever smell a sweet, fruity scent on their clothes or in their bedroom that you can't place? Have they started drinking a lot more water or maybe getting occasional nosebleeds? What about a new nagging cough, or sudden mood swings, being extra irritable, or finding it hard to concentrate? That, combined with slipping grades or more frequent trips to the bathroom, can be a sign. The best advice I can give you is to trust your gut. If something feels off, it's worth paying closer attention. Now, I know that hearing all of this can feel pretty overwhelming, maybe even a little scary. But the goal here isn't to cause panic. It's to move us from being aware of the problem to taking positive, supportive action. Honestly, the most powerful tool you have is a calm, non-judgmental conversation. But how you have that conversation is everything. Don't confront them the moment you find something or when you're angry. Wait for a quiet moment, maybe when you're in the car. And instead of an accusation like, "Are you vaping?" try an open question. Something like, "I've been reading a lot about vaping at school. What are you seeing with your friends?" Your goal is to listen, not to lecture. Share the facts, but calmly. And most of all, make it crystal clear that you're on their team and you're worried because you love them. And please remember, we are your partners in this. You're not alone. Talk to us. Let us know what you're worried about. When we work together, we can give your child the support they need. We see this as a health issue, not just a discipline problem. Our goal is always to connect students with help, not just to hand out punishments. Your support in that approach is absolutely vital. Thank you so much for your time. The science is clear, the products are incredibly deceptive, and the risks to our kids are very real. But protecting them starts with us. It starts with being aware, and it starts with being willing to have those difficult conversations. By being here, you've taken the most important step. So the only real question left is, are you ready to begin that conversation?